All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm your host, Jay Teagues, leadership trainer, speaker, adventure coach, founder of the Do Hard Things Nation. This podcast is about learning, growth, and leveling up so you can be the best version of yourself and achieve your highest potential. Be the role model that your family, that your country needs. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have a great and engaging conversation. And I'm excited to have Geoff Knoll here. Geoff is the host of the Way Up podcast. Geoff, how are you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic.
Man, it's great to have you here. Before we get into today's conversation, just real quick, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hey, check us out. We're on we're on Spotify, Apple, all your platforms over there. If you're listening to us, you can actually see us on YouTube. So follow us on each of those. And if you'd be so kind as to go over to Apple and leave us a review. Apple's like the gold standard when it comes to reviews for some reason. It's the only place that you can really leave. I think Spotify has them as well, but either or, leave us a review. It goes a long way to tweaking the algorithm. It helps us out when people are searching for podcasts. This one will pop up. It means a lot to me personally, so thank you for doing that. If you've gained any value from today, let us know. Our contact information will be in the show notes, but we love to hear from our listeners. Just reach out and say, hey, that really resonated with me. That really helped me out. Or, you know what, Jay, that was a bunch of crap. And this is what I think, so we just love hearing feedback from you. So either way, engage with us in conversation, and be sure, if you're not part of the Do Hard Things Facebook group, that you should go check that out as well. This episode is sponsored by Lions Guide. Lions Guide is a growth agency. We empower everyday people to be world-class leaders. I am the high performance development director over there, along with, the bench of other coaches that we have over there. And, we're looking at helping everyday people, become world-class leaders. We feel that most of today's problems can be solved through leadership. And sometimes you can find yourself overwhelmed, lacking confidence. Maybe you're trying to inspire the team, and, you need some help. You need some support. And we have an online academy. We have group coaching, one-on-one coaching, leadership, workshops, excursions. So check out lionsguide.com and see if we're a good fit to help you out with your organization and your leadership, your individual leadership. This episode is also brought to you by UARD, the University of Applied Research and Development, where we help veterans obtain their bachelor and master's degree in emergency management. You can study abroad in New Zealand for a short tour with me, or you can stay up into country up to 3 months. Use your VA bill benefits. It is accredited by the VA, so you can use your GI Bill benefits or other educational benefits to cover the cost of the program. And you gain maximum credit for your military service. Most of it is distance learning, so it's very flexible with your schedule. It's non-traditional, a great way to experience New Zealand. You can go to www.uard.university or go to dohardthingsnation.com and click on the next mission project. And let's see here. We're also sponsored by the Forge Mastermind. The Forge is a community of growth-minded people. And, you can connect with other people. We do book reviews. We have weekly coaching calls. It's a great way to network with other growth-minded people. And, these types of groups fundamentally changed my life, which is why I created the Forge. So go to dohardthingsnation.com, start your year of growth. And yes, that's about it. That's a bit for all the work aspect of things. Let me introduce to you today's guest. Today, I'm honored and privileged to have with us Geoff Knoll. Geoff grew up in a small town of Adrian, Missouri. And, just like it's very similar to me, didn't have much interest in school, no significant plans for the future after high school. He worked a bunch of different labor jobs over the years, but never felt like he was doing anything with meaning or purpose, and maybe lacked a little bit of fulfillment. He started selling real estate in 2019, experienced some success, but, after the first year, he lived that comfortable life. He started working and took his foot off the gas a little bit. And in November 21, Geoff's health took a turn, and facing his own mortality, he was filled with regret of not creating a better life, for example, for his family. And, Geoff recovered, and we crossed paths, and we're going to kind of go into that in today's podcast. He changed his diet. He started, focusing on his own personal growth and development. He completed 75 hard in 2022. And he started, he joined the Forge Mastermind group, which is, and being able to see him grow has been fantastic. He recently organized and put on a community fall festival, took classes, acquired his broker's license, earned the highest income in his working life thus far. And he's now a managing broker of his real estate office up at the Lake of the Ozarks. And he's actively learning and committed to his personal growth. He recently started the Way Up podcast, where he interviews successful individuals, asking what they did to be in a position that they're in. And Geoff is passionate about helping other people realize their worth and dominate their goals. Geoff, it's great to have you here, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm excited to be on here with you. This is cool.
This is very cool. It's been, I think 21. So it's been almost 2 years, I think, since we crossed paths, maybe a year and a half. Feels like a lot longer.
Well, it feels like it was actually 22. It was February of 22 when I joined the Forge. So
just a year.
We've been ready. We've known each other for a year now. Crazy.
I feel like I've known you for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's been really cool to see the growth. I think that I think Bree had connected us. She told me your story about how you basically had that light bulb moment, right? Something happened in your life. You're like, you know what? I'm tired of living this way and I need to change. And you came aboard, and it's been really cool in the short time that we've known each other. It feels like it's been like 5 years to really see the growth and the trajectory that you've changed yourself and how you've influenced your family and those around you.
Yeah. A lot's happened in that year.
Yeah. So I kind of want to spend, I have some questions. I had the same type of epiphany, if you will. And I find that a lot of people have this moment where they're like, you know what? I'm not living to my fullest potential and I need to change, and then actually take the change, because there's different forms of change. There's people that know they need to change, but they're not quite willing to take action. You've gotten to the point where you're taking action and really putting yourself out there. So just tell us a little bit about, in your bio, just how did you get to the point of the light bulb coming on and making a change?
Well, I think just facing that potential reality, the fear of passing away, and thinking about my son, and all of the things that I won't get to teach him. I wouldn't be able to provide him or be there for him. My family, I have a life insurance policy that I'd always had in the back of my mind of this is my security blanket for my family if anything happens. And when you're laying in a hospital bed and you're putting a price tag on everything that comes into your room, every time they put on a new pair of gloves, you're like, I don't know what that's going to cost. Everything is racking up. And I'm like, self-employed person, I don't have insurance. So I'm getting scared about the cost of all of this. I'm thinking, I have this life insurance policy that very easily could disappear and I could still leave my family with debt.
Mm-hmm.
So that was terrifying to me, to think I'm 30, I was 37 at the time, 37 years old, and I've really not accomplished a whole lot. I haven't done anything. And if I leave now, there's not going to be any legacy left other than, well, this guy left some debt. He was a nice person. That doesn't go too far, and it definitely didn't sit well with me.
Do you mind telling us what happened? What was your medical scare? Tell us a story on that.
So I had, the diagnosis was called ITP, and I've looked it up. I can't remember the name of it. It doesn't really matter. Google's awesome. You can figure it out if you want. But essentially what was happening is my body, my immune system was killing off all of the platelets in my blood. The platelets are what makes your blood clot. So not having any platelets means that you are more susceptible to, bleed out, hemophiliac or whatever. So the cause of that, we never did find out what caused it. That being said, the symptoms that I was experiencing that had me go to the hospital initially was I had blood pooling under my skin. My gums were bleeding. I'd have to go pull this coagulated blood out between my teeth and rinse my mouth out about every half hour. And I felt, I was not sleeping well because I had severe pain and didn't have insurance. I'm not the guy that's going to go to the doctor, or at least that was who I was. I more pay closer attention to my health now than I did really ever before. But um, that went on just about a week, and I had my wife who's saying, "Geoff, at some point you've got to go to the doctor. Like you've got to go." And I have Bree, my broker, who her husband had gone through leukemia, and she's recognizing some of these symptoms and saying, "Geoff, I'm not trying to freak you out, but this is serious. You need to go to the doctor." So, okay, I'll go to the doctor. It's not getting better yet, so I'll go. So I go, and I think my real first time I was worried about it myself was going into the doctor's office, and the nurse practitioner that I saw, she looks at me and she looks alarmed. I'm like, "Oh, is this something to be worried about?" And she's like, "Oh, well, don't worry about it till we get test results back, but it looks a little bit alarming." So, I went into the bathroom in the clinic, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, "Oh man, I look like I'm dying. Like this is bad." And they did blood work. I get a call from the doctor about an hour and a half after I got home saying that I needed to go get a platelet transfusion, which ended me up in a different hospital for 4 days on the oncology floor. And I'm just looking around like I was fine a week ago. I was normal. This can't be real. Like, do I have cancer? This just doesn't feel real. At first, when they put me on the floor, I asked the nurse when I realized I was on the oncology floor, "Am I in this room because this is the only room available, or do I need to be here? Like, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, well, we'll find out."
Oof.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's scary
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah, man. So you had a little bit of that. I don't need to go to the doctor. Okay, everyone's telling me go. I should probably get checked out, but you're still like reluctant. What was your wife and children thinking?
So from the time I went to the emergency room for the platelet transfusion, the hospitals were still on COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So my son couldn't go back. Once I got to the emergency room at the first hospital, that was the last time he saw me until I got out of the hospital, and he was terrified. So that was like just really bothering me that not only could he not come back, but I know he's scared that his dad's sick. And my wife, she's worried and concerned too, but she has to work, and so she goes. She's coming in the evenings and going, but I'm sitting a lot of time in the hospital by myself. My sister that lives in Kansas City did come down, and she helped with my son, and she came and hung out with me one day in the hospital. But it was definitely scary, and not to mention the fact that I have a few things going on work-wise that I'm not able to take care of because I'm not physically well enough to do anything.
Mhm.
I fortunately had a few agents in the office that were very willing to jump in and help with the things that I had going on, and my broker Bree, she was, anything you need, let me know. So,
Mhm.
I had that kind of support, but I'm just feeling guilty of these people are working and they're doing all this stuff for me, and I don't even know how I can pay them back.
Yeah.
So,
So you're in the hospital. Your gums have been bleeding. You're in oncology. What was next? What did I guess they
they
start running
did.
tests?
Yeah, they started running tests. They did, and I can't even think of what that's called, a biopsy. They jammed a giant needle in my butt and pulled out tissue from my something. I don't know. But as painful as that was, the positive thing was there was no cancer.
Yeah.
And as unsettling as it may be to not have an answer of what caused it, I'm okay with that because the end result is I'm fine. My blood has, I got home. Um, One thing that was alarming that I'm going to point out when I was in the hospital, they were giving me prednisone, which I was on prednisone for like 3 months when I left the hospital, high dose prednisone.
It's like a
And
steroid, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
And they told me the prednisone is going to make your blood sugar spike. So he did that.
I think we lost you, Geoff.
They
You froze
send
up. You're
up,
back. Okay, you're back.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, good.
So they send up insulin. They want to give me insulin because my blood sugar's up. I'm like, whoa, I don't want to take insulin. I was like, can we not just control this with my diet? And they're like, well, the doctor doesn't think that's necessary at this point. Okay, well, I'm going to do that because I don't want to be taking insulin. I don't want to take medication that I don't have to take if I can control it another way. So that was a little bit of me just trying to take control of the situation a little bit. When I got home, I had drastically cut my carbs down, and I was in, I think, keto flu probably. I don't know, but I felt like crap. I was no energy whatsoever. I would get up and walk to the bathroom, which is 30 feet from the living room, and I would have to lean on a wall and stop, catch my breath to make it to the bathroom.
Mhm.
And I felt terrible. And after about 10 days of being home, I was starting to get energy and starting to feel good, and really everything progressively got better. There's all kinds of side effects for prednisone. Say that it makes you hungry, and most people end up gaining a bunch of weight and doing all this. So I was mindful of that, and I didn't want that to happen. And I started watching these videos on YouTube from the Body Project. It's just home workouts for beginners, mostly all standing, low impact workouts. Felt a little bit cheesy, like an old lady doing aerobics in my living room, but I was feeling better and it was making a difference. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And I started losing weight. I started feeling more energy than I had before I got sick. And I'm like, this is something I can do. So it's just a few months between then and the time that I met you, but that was right. I got sick in November. By the end of the year, I had written out my goals. One positive change seems to be like a domino effect of you start to see results of this, and you're like, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do that is going to make me feel better and make me accomplish more? And it just starts to domino. So, I'm reading books, and I'm doing other things. My diet is on point, my exercise is getting on point, and I'm putting the right things in my mind and being careful not to just absorb garbage television, which, a lot of people don't realize how much time they sit in front of the TV just allowing things that you're not controlling to go into your mind. Well, it all goes in there, and it's taking up space. I don't want that to take up space in my life. I don't have time for that. I don't know how long I'm here. So I want to make sure that every minute that I'm here, I'm doing something to get me closer to what I actually want. And through that, I'm asking around what is some ideas that I can do that will progress me faster. And lo and behold, Bree's like, oh, my friend Jay is he's a high performance coach, and I'd seen a few things on Facebook, so I'm like, okay, I'm definitely interested in meeting this guy. So that was the beginning of me coming to the Forge, which that in and of itself has been very instrumental in providing creative ideas and opportunities that I didn't realize.
I love that. That's the mastermind concept, right? You get a bunch of growth-minded people together, and then you start to, you learn things, and you start to look at the world in a different lens. And here you are, starting your podcast, which is super cool.
Yeah. And I've only recorded 3 episodes so far with other people. I've did the one that was about me, by myself, but I've interviewed 3 people, and I told you yesterday we were at a leadership Pulaski County program that we went through the Chamber of Commerce, and it's exciting to me already because I am just getting to hear different perspectives from different people. Whenever you're reading and you're in the growth and success mindset, you're trying to progress in that. You hear a lot of the same things from people of this is what I did, and you got to read your 10 pages every day or whatever, and you have the same regimen, but different people reach success in different ways, and it's really interesting just to hear the different vantage points and um, just different paths that people take to get there.
Yeah, I think that's the next level of your growth and development. You can listen to podcasts, you can read your books, but actually being engaged in conversation and connecting with people, that's really where you gain some momentum. Like that's where it's at. Like that's because now it's the application aspect. You're taking it from theory to application, and you're connecting with other people that are applying it, and they're giving you feedback on things, and that's where things really start to take off.
Yeah.
And so it's been really cool to see your journey. Now with your health, so you don't know what really caused it, and
Don't know what caused it. When I got out of the hospital, I was doing blood work twice a week.
Mhm.
And I did that for the first couple of months, and then it tapered down as my prednisone prescription dose tapered down. I would worked down to once a week, and then by the end of the 3 months, I was doing it once every couple weeks. And then I've gone back probably 3 times after for blood work just to make sure that my numbers are still in good shape. I haven't checked that in probably 6-7 months, but
Mhm.
I feel fine. I don't have any symptoms, and I'm honestly, I would say I'm very healthy.
Yeah. You've been focusing on your health, which has been super cool. You're out running and you're dieting, you're not dieting, fueling better. I don't like dieting.
Yeah.
Fueling better, and you've been leaning in on just every aspect of your life, which has been pretty cool.
Right. Well, getting into the Forge is in that group is a whole bunch of runners, which is something that I've never really been. Um, don't know that I ever really wanted to be, but whenever you get into a group of people, you start doing things. So that's the proximity is power. The people you surround yourself, you're going to become like them, or you're probably not going to be hanging out with those kinds of people. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of put me into positions that I may not have originally got myself into, but I love it.
Yeah.
And it's been life changing.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Who you spend the time with, you become an average of those people. And, so what types of people are you hanging out with? And that's what I love about the mastermind concept is you can find your way into a group of other people that are getting after it. Right. And you have a real conversation and talk to people. And that's great.
Can I do want to bring up one other thing. So the Forge is a group that you pay to be in. And that was whenever that was initially presented to me, it was almost a hang up of, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like that
Mhm.
seems strange to pay to be on almost a Facebook group. It's not that. It's more than that. But coming in, it was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try it for a month. That's what I did. I'm gonna try it for a month. And if I feel like I gain the value, I spend money on lots of things that I may or may not need, but I'll try it. So that was my initial. I'm going to do this for a month. I've now been in it for a year. You're not getting rid of me. I definitely have seen lots and lots and lots of my money return. Like not not directly, but just from the ideas that have been presented to me. We just completed this LPC together, Leadership Pulaski County through the chamber. You you called me and said, "Hey, Nadine from the group is in the chamber, and she just told me about this program, and you know, you should probably try that. You're in real estate in the area. It would probably be good networking for you. You should give that a whirl. Something I'd not even heard of that. I didn't realize that my brokerage was a part of the Chamber of Commerce. I had no clue. I didn't realize what an asset that was just sitting there that I wasn't utilizing, nor anyone else in my office for that matter. It's there. Why are we not taking advantage of the opportunities that we have right in front of us? Um, so more so growing into, last year was really exciting in a lot of different things, but I can look back over that year and say, man, I had a decent amount of downtime. I could have done more. Sure, I felt overwhelmed occasionally, but that was just because I wasn't sticking to time management, time blocking practices. I wasn't as faithful to that, which that gives back in tenfold. If you will be intentional with your time blocking and calendar, that gives you so much freedom to have. So and I can tell when I'm good about putting stuff in my calendar and I'm actually living on my calendar, I have so much more time. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Yeah, I'm scheduling brushing my teeth in the morning, but once I get through that, I'm like, dang, I've done all this stuff and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. I've already worked out. I've already brushed. I've done these things and I feel accomplished. So it
Yeah.
just gives you fuel to get through the day.
Yeah, and I remember the very first time that I was offered to join a group, and I him and hawed on that for a long time. It's just a new concept to me. Like, why would I pay to join a group? Well, it's just like paying to be a part of the Chamber of Commerce. It's paying your dues to be a part of this, that, or whatnot. It's the opportunity to network. It's an investment in yourself. And like every dollar that I've spent on personal growth and development has come back to me in so many incredible different ways. Monetarily, it's come back to me because I've gained knowledge that has put more money in my bank account. But through connections and opportunities, like there have opportunities that have come my way that never would have existed had I not connected with people in these types of groups. And it's almost like anyone that's been involved in mastermind groups knows this. That's how you separate the whey from the chaff. You pay to be a part of the group. It's a fee. And there's some groups that as you get higher ticket, the people get smaller, but the amount of people get smaller. And I don't know that not all groups are created equal, but there is something magical that happens in these types of groups and the types of people that are willing to do that from the everyday person. And that fundamentally changed the trajectory of my life. And I've been in a few groups and it made such a profound impact on me. I started my own. And it's been awesome to see how transformative the group has been for, people like you and everyone else that's been in our group. It's become its own little family and it's awesome. And it makes me feel amazing because the forge is not about me. I just facilitate it. It's its own entity. That's what's cool about it. It's like everyone in there has something to contribute. When you hop on a call, you're getting knowledge from everyone. I've never walked away and not gotten something from someone else. Just a nugget of information or just some level of encouragement, right? It's unique.
Yeah, for sure. Well, another example of the growth that I've gotten from that group personally is your wedding. You had your unique wedding of we've got to do something different of we're going to jump out of an airplane, um, which is crazy. But whenever you asked if I wanted to do that, I was like, hell no, I don't want to do that. Uh, that's terrifying. That was my answer to you, and you said, well, that's exactly why you need to do it. I need I need people like that in my life that push me and present a different thought pattern so that I can get out of my own way because how many things do we build into these giants that keep us from doing something just because we're scared? We let fear get in the way of living. And I'm not a thrill seeker. Jumping out of an airplane was not on my bucket list whatsoever. I could have been just fine, but I know that because I was scared and I had plenty of time to prepare for it. By the time I went up to jump, I was not super scared. I was like, there was 5 planes go up. I was on the last one. I got to watch everybody land and nobody died and nobody even got hurt. So I was like, oh, this will be fine. But um, just getting out of my own head was huge. And it also was cool because I have a very supporting, loving family. My wife, my son, they're very supportive of my ideas. But whenever I told them about that, it caused some contention in my household. My son was upstairs in this loft up here, and he overhears me tell Megan about it. He says, "You're not going to let him do that, are you?" Like what? It's okay, and I don't want to lose you, Dad. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna die. Most people don't die. I mean, it's a very small percentage. Most of the time, the parachute comes out, which is the idea. But um, that was a big thing. But it did allow me to get through that. And I know, okay, that was something that was a big, scary giant for me, and I can do that. We can do hard things. We can do anything that we set our mind to. So it was kind of a monumental thing for me. So I'm grateful that you.
What did you learn from that experience about yourself, having gone through it?
Well, I learned that I'm capable of doing things that are scary. And really the fear, I watched a video. I think what helped me get my wife on board to at least say, well, I'm going to support whatever you do, is I showed her this video of Will Smith talking about jumping out of an airplane, his experience. He says, everybody's night before, everybody's drinking, we're going to go jump out of an airplane. And then you start thinking about it. You get scared, like, we were drunk. Maybe no one else was serious. We don't really have to do it, to the point of you jump out. And once you jump and you're in the air, the fear is gone. The point where you actually could be in the most danger, the only point that you should be scared, the fear's gone because you're experiencing something incredible that most people will never experience in their life. You are seeing the world from a different perspective. But all of the time that you're worried about it beforehand, that you're making it a big deal, you're in no danger whatsoever. You can't get hurt thinking about it. There's nothing dangerous about it until you jump. So just once, what I learned about it is if I start to create this monster in my mind of anything, and in my line of work in real estate, if I'm working with a seller and the buyer sends over, bad news for the seller, the deal's going to fall apart, whatever. I've got to call and give this bad news. And it's been something that I'm like, man, I hate telling people bad news. I hate pissing people off. That's not my goal. I want everybody to like me. I want to give you good news every time you talk to me on the phone. I want there to be some good association with this guy. But it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm doing anything to them. I'm just sharing what's happening. I'm keeping them informed. So it makes me rethink where's the actual danger? What is the problem ahead? And is it really even a problem? And just reframing my thought pattern about it gives me a different perspective and makes it, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and knock this out so I don't have to worry about it. It's done. Rather than procrastinating, which was an old tactic that I've done a good most of my life. Procrastinate.
Happens to a lot of people. That's a common. I just did that master class not too long ago, and I was just so many people like, man, that's me. I mean, I still procrastinate. We all do it in some form, right? But how do we mitigate that? I mean, so many good points there. For me personally, like, I'm scared of heights, but having that experience, there's no other experience like that experience, and it gives you a new perspective. And because I faced my fear, it gives me courage and confidence in other things that I find scary. Because it's
Hmm.
like, you know what? I see and feel the fear, but it's just like it's just an indicator, like on your dashboard, that something, you just got to be a heightened sense of awareness that something's up. But it doesn't mean you back down. You still take action. And that's what it gets, because a lot of people will back down versus just taking the action. And to your point, like, I want to tell everyone, I want to be well liked. I always want to have good news for everyone, but that's not reality.
Mm-mm.
And that's, especially as you are stepping into a leadership role, that's, if you want to make everyone happy, sell ice cream, right? There's a book about that, or someone had quoted that. I forgot who said that, but if you want to make everyone happy, sell ice cream. And that's just not reality. And leadership requires you to face fear. And yeah, and that's why I think it's prudent. I mean, hence the do hard things. Put yourself in positions where you can face your fear, and that inoculates you. So when you're actually faced with life's challenges, because it's surely going to happen, whether it be, tough things like health scares, or, other tragedies that happen in your family, or, I mean, there's no doubt, like, life is a series of struggles. You're either in one, you're coming out of one, or you're getting ready to go into another one. Like, they're cyclical for everyone. Every single person I know has their own unique set of challenges, and it's coming. So, and I think resiliency, you work on that, so when the time comes, you're prepared for it.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
your son looked up to you. He saw you. He thought that was crazy that you did that, right? And yeah, my kid, same thing. My daughter was like, "You're gonna die, Dad. I don't want you to die." You have a greater risk of dying driving there than you do jumping out of the plane. Yes, there's an inherent risk, but that's just the mindset. That's the matrix that we live in. It's the mindset of most people. Um, and breaking free from that mindset, I think, gives you a whole different perspective, and it opens up so many more opportunities and enables you to live life differently and more fulfilling, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because that was awesome about the wedding, because we had all of our people that were just really close to us and that we loved and appreciated, and they jumped with us for the most part. We had a couple that still sat on the sidelines. It's okay, no judgment, but it was really cool to see people, because most people are like, "Oh, man, they're scared," right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I was scared too. So
I did see some tears, but nobody got hurt. So
yeah, no
it
one
was
got
fine.
hurt.
It was
Yeah, it's
good.
good. It's not normal to jump off a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah.
So
But honestly, through this journey of just even in this last year, I have I got one perspective that I pulled from one of your other podcasts. You were interviewing Tom Kyatt,
yeah,
and you guys were talking about your kids looking up to you, which this is a huge thing for me because part of my biggest fear was not being able to watch my son grow and be an example for him. And seeing that interview, Tom went into some detail about the, why kids lose interest and stop listening to dad, stop listening to their parents, and he made a point that I had not heard anybody ever point out before of um, having a little brain fart. He said that you haven't performed at a high enough level. If your kids are disregarding, which every adolescent kid at some point they're going to get attitude, they're going to have their issues, but if you're not performing at a high enough level, they think that they don't know what he's talking about. What's he doing? What's this guy doing with his life that is worth paying attention? But since I've been doing stuff, I lost 90 pounds,
that's
which was
huge, man.
that was a
Significant.
big thing. You look at old pictures of me and I was bigger and I look different and I feel different. I feel like a different person completely. But um my son has told me, he's like, "Dad, you're like Batman." I'm like, "Okay, this is working." he's paying attention. He sees this. So, and when I go out in the gym and I'm working out, he'll come out from time to time. He's like, "Oh yeah, look, Dad." He's like, "See this? It's getting hard. See this?" It's like, okay, yep. I definitely, we're on the right track. This is what I want to happen. So, I feel like I'm very much just scratching the surface of what's possible,
Mm.
which is honestly more energizing and exciting than anything, is knowing that there's so much more capability and so much more opportunity available than I have even realized.
Mm.
Um, so I'm very jacked about what's ahead.
The kids, right? They see your actions. They watch what you do. It's the little things too, like they pick up on. I came back yesterday and I had my little lanyard with my Pulaski County, because we're doing that leadership class. And I asked me, like, "What, Dad? What's that all about?" So I explain the colors and what everything that we're doing with that, right? And there's an awards banquet coming up. And it's all the leaders in the county. They hear and see that, and I hope it's resonating and planting a seed with them, because that's one of the reasons that I'm doing it, to role model the way for them and show them, to be able to give back. And I think, taking on the role model mindset is a pillar of high performance. And it's it sounds pretentious, like, who am I to role model the way, right? But going back to your point of where I felt like I was wandering lost in the woods, it wasn't until the day I found out I was having triplets that I had ambition and I was doing pretty good in the military, but I also had a lot of, I'm just going to live life, however, and it was when I had the kids that was a transformative moment for me. Like, the light bulb came on for me. Like, okay, I've been thinking about a lot of things and I've accomplished a pretty good amount, but it's time to really ramp it up now, because now it's no longer about just me. Like, I have
Right.
to provide for my family and I need to role model the way. And that really lit a candle in me and amplified things in so many ways. And it kind of goes back to, in one of the pillars of high performance is that we will do more for other people than we will ourselves. And s- sometimes we have to have a moment like that, or a close call, like a scare like you had, to like awaken us, because it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day comfort of things. And then you look back and like, shit, like, where'd all the time go? Like, where am I at? Where do I want to be? Like, this is where I wanted. I mean, you're just caught up in just the normal day to day. And I felt like there's a big part of that I was for such a long time. And it led to some unhappiness. And yeah, and I had to kind of walk a unique path because of that. But that was like an awakening moment for me personally.
So I want to make sure whenever I am in the position again where I'm potentially facing this is deathbed situation, I don't want to have the regret, and I won't. Things things are different. That being said, I want to leave a legacy too. Everybody wants to leave a legacy, and mine isn't that everybody knows who I am. I that's not it at all. I want to leave a legacy for my family, and doing that is going to be role modeling the way of how to do it, but teaching my son so he can avoid making the mistakes that I made. And
Mhm.
I'm sure everybody's got to do things, and we struggle sometimes. When we're arguing about something, he's like, "Why can't I just learn the hard way?" I'm like, man, why do you want to do that?
Why do you want to learn the hard way?
Don't fight for the hard way. I'm trying to help you, man. But I I figure if I can teach him how to avoid making all the mistakes that I did, that my legacy is, yes, I'm going to create a good life for my family, but my son, he's going to build an empire. He's going to be able to affect uh, and bring on change that will last long beyond my time on earth. So that's huge for me. That is a, you know, me connecting to my purpose is role modeling something so that my son can go on and do huge things. I've got big things inside of me, but I know that he's got something huge inside of him. He's very special. There's you can talk to some people and know that, man, this person really cares about people. And when you talk to my son, you'll definitely get that vibe because he cares about you. Like, that's just weird almost that a kid, but you can tell. So I'm excited to see what he has in his future too.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's been cool to see the photos. I got to meet him. I think I've met him a couple times. It was cool to
Yeah.
see him interact. But yeah, he's watching you, Dad.
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, he's paying attention. So working on getting some rock hard six pack. So just create a little rock climbing wall for midgets is what I'm thinking, but uh, not there
Yeah,
yet. It's a process. It's an
yeah,
always process, but at least I enjoy the process. That's fantastic because some people hate working out and some people are like, man, I don't want to do that. Well, I do. I want to. I
yeah.
like it because I like the way it makes me feel.
Yeah, you got to look past the pain, and it's a fear thing that they're fearing the pain. That's what I mean. Discipline's all about having courage to face your fear, and if find something that makes you feel good because there's some workout or some routine out there that makes you feel better. So, and but yeah, that's a challenge we have. It's overcoming the creature comforts that are abound everywhere. It's hard. It's hard to break the cycle on that.
Absolutely.
Well, so let me ask you. We're at 46 minutes, so I have a couple of questions for you. What book has made the biggest impact on you?
Well, there's been a bunch of them, but Rich Dad Poor Dad by
Mm,
Robert Kiyosaki, that was a good one. Um, just seeing his perspective of the two scenarios of this one says go to school and this one is you know, do these things aggressively to make, you know, grow your empire
yeah,
and seeing that was very cool. Um, one that we're currently reading in the book club, The Mindset by Carol Dweck.
yeah,
That book has so many great um, pers-
yeah. A lot of different perspectives in there.
what's that?
You cut out there for a second, but a lot of perspectives.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Mindset by Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
That one was definitely a good one. Oh,
And just to kind of circle the wagons around the book club, it's part of the Forge, but it's like having an opportunity to discuss a book because I've read a lot of books or audio, audible them, but
mhm.
never really had a conversation with someone about them. But having a space where you can talk about it and how to apply it more into your life is really powerful. Like it takes that knowledge to the next level. I
It
think that's
does it
important.
does make a difference on what you're absorbing from what you're reading because you can read page after page and close the book and it doesn't do you any good if you don't absorb the knowledge, but if
Mhm.
you get to hear other people's viewpoints on how did they interpret what they read,
Yeah.
it may bring the same words to a different light for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely digging the book club.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's good stuff. Okay, tell us about the Way Up podcast.
The
What's that
Way Up
about? What are
podcast.
you doing with it? What's your
So,
vision?
well, my vision is I'm on my journey and I want to continue my trajectory up. So I am interviewing people that are successful. They've accomplished something of value and I'm just asking them what are the things that they have done that that pushed them into the position that they're in. How what were some things that they can identify that made a difference for them to be able to level up, and then asking them about challenges that they've faced. How did you overcome the challenge?
Mhm.
Who did you have to support you? What was your support system? What were groups that you were part of that helped elevate you? Because success leaves clues, and most of the time people that are successful, they don't have any problem sharing their information with you. So i I am actually thoroughly enjoying talking to people that are in different backgrounds, different industries. I don't care what they do. I'm in real estate, and it's not about real estate. I don't honestly don't want it to be about real estate. I want it to be about success and how to get there, no matter
Mm,
what you do, no matter what you choose to do, because everybody wants to level up.
mm.
And maybe not, but the people that watch the podcast, I would imagine, are people that want to level up. So, you know,
Yeah, the reality is, I don't think everyone does want to level up. Some people are just
yeah,
content, and there's nothing
content.
wrong with that. But
Right.
for those that do that, those that have the fire in their belly, that's what I would. And there's people that listen to this podcast, and I'm telling you, I wish if I could give anyone just a wisdom advice. If you really want to level up, get connected into a group, take it to the next level, invest in yourself. It doesn't have to be my group. It can be, there's a whole bunch of them. I would say there's a whole bunch of them out there because they're really hard to find. I went for years without realizing, I didn't even know what a mastermind group was. But they're now that I know about them, there are some out there. They're kind of hard to find, but get plugged into one. It will change your life. It'll change your life.
It definitely makes a huge difference. I
Absolutely.
I
And I
uh, I
love that
don't
you're using that platform as a way, because same thing with the Do Our Things podcast. I was nervous about starting it, but I just wanted to connect with successful people. And
yeah.
I've met so many incredible people through the journey.
Well, and I'm sure you probably went through this. I don't know, but whenever I was starting, I wanted to do this for some months before I started, and I would talk myself out of it. I'm like, who the hell wants to listen to me? I mean, who am I? I Yes, I've had some success for what I'm doing, but I'm not the top of my market. I'm not the top. I'm not the best. I'm just better than I used to be.
Mm,
And I want to continue to get better. So I doubted myself because you hear a lot of these things, and it's people that are like, oh yeah, I make $30 bajillion a year. I That's not me. I'm not that guy. But one day I will be that weird rich guy that wants to help people. And the cool thing for me is I could care less about driving a Lamborghini, or that's not important to me. I don't value those things, but I do like being able to help people out. So,
mhm,
if I can pay a single mom's utility bills for a year,
mhm.
that would give me so much excitement and joy in my life. Things like that make a huge difference. So, I'm the guy that you want to be rich because I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, I love that because there are like certain entrepreneurial groups where they're like standing in front of the Lambos and the planes and like this success. We call it entrepreneur porn because it does suck in a lot of people. That doesn't like inspire me at all.
Mm-mm.
Would I love a Lambo in my garage? Yeah, I'd like one. It's not on my bucket list though,
I'm
really. I
too
mean,
I'm too tall. Sports cars aren't for me. That's not for me.
same. There are some other things I'd like though, but
Oh,
yeah,
I like nice
I'm
things,
not
don't get me
driven by
wrong,
the
but
money. Do I
that's
want money?
not.
Gives you freedom and
Yes.
experiences.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's about making a contribution. It's about helping others, and that's where it's at for me. That's ultimately where fulfillment comes from.
Absolutely. I agree
So
100%.
I love that you're doing that. I love that you're sharing your journey. I love that you're role modeling the way for your son. It's been really awesome. I can't believe it's only been a year. It feels like 5. But I feel like I don't know. It's just been really amazing. I didn't know you before. I saw you in the beginning of your journey. So this is the Geoff that I know. I've
Mhm.
seen growth, but I didn't know it'd be hard for me to envision the 90-pound overweight Geoff that just wasn't doing things. I haven't seen that person. So
Yeah.
you're changing your legacy because like I don't know you as that person.
Well, I'm not sad that you didn't know that person, and I'm glad that I'm distancing myself from who I was because um I like who I'm becoming. That's really it. And it's built confidence in me.
Yeah.
Um it makes me feel like I can connect with people better, not because I look different, but because I feel different. I feel like I have something to offer.
Yeah.
So um it's been a huge change that I am so glad happened.
That's
And
great, man.
I'm excited about what's to come. This this is just a temporary take a picture. This is today.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we're
I'm
always
excited
we're
for
always
you.
changing and evolving, but
I'm excited for you. You know, I saw you put on that community event last year. You're doing the podcast. You're making big changes in your career. Like you've made big changes in the year that I've known you.
yeah. Well, this year, I some goals for this year is I, my wife and I are both in real estate to some capacity. All of our income comes from real estate, and real
Mhm.
estate markets fluctuate. So I want to diversify and build income. I want to build passive income from different sources.
Yeah,
So I've watched so many videos on YouTube of people that have created huge things on YouTube. So I'm learning video production,
yeah.
and I am doing the podcast. I'm doing a realtor channel. I'm doing just I did a meditation video, which felt cheesy to put out. Just because I imagine that everybody that does those videos lives in their mom's basement and does them in their underwear. So I can just imagine that that's what people think whenever they're hearing, "Hello, this is Geoff with Meditative Mindfulness." That's what I imagine. It's not the case 100%,
Yeah.
but believe it or not, I had people reach out to me once as I'm putting this content out. I have people reach out to me that I would not expect to reach out and say, "Man, I really appreciate what you're doing. This is awesome. You should be recording audiobooks. You've got a voice for this. You should be doing these different things that,
Yeah.
just kind of giving me some confidence boosters."
Yeah.
I released a podcast yesterday, and I got calls from two of my competitors in my real estate market. They messaged me just to tell me how much they appreciate what I'm doing, and they're excited to see what's going on. And you know, that was a huge, like, just made me feel good. A few nice words goes a really long ways. So
Yeah, man.
um
Well,
it's
there's the
encouraging.
uh there's the creators and there's the consumers. And the creators, are they're few and far between compared to the amount of consumers that are out there. So I love that you're adding value and putting some positivity out there.
Yeah.
Well, Geoff, we're up against the clock here. What any final thoughts before we call it a day?
Um well, final thoughts. I if I can do anything, if I can change, if I can grow, um like you said in the bio, I was not a good student. I didn't have anything going for me other than maybe I was the class clown in my school, but nobody would have said this guy's going to be successful in life. Nobody would have said that when somebody the school paper asked what I was going to do in high school. After high school, I told them I was going to sell drugs to little kids. I was joking, but like that's what people expected, you
Mhm.
know. No high anticipation. But if I can change, anybody can change. If I can do something, anybody can do something. So I would encourage you, if you are, you're just floating through, you're not satisfied with what's going on, you have the ability to create the life that you want. You just have to figure out what you want, and then backtrack, and this is the steps it's going to take. What do people that are doing this, what are they doing to be that way? Like, what did they do to get in this position? And start doing those things. Become that person, because you it's a changing, we're just how we are for a moment. We're always evolving, always changing. But if we're not working towards something, then life will happen to us.
Mhm.
So I don't want that for you. If you want to change, you can take that into your own hands, and you can become whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. And I want to see big things happen in the world. So Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it. On that note, I don't think we can't top that, man. I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing. How can people get in contact with you, Geoff?
Well, my email is thewayuppodcast.geoffknoll@gmail, or I've got YouTube as GK Realtor at GK Realtor. I also have the Way Up Podcast with Geoff Knoll, Realtor, or Geoff. Can we just drop it in the
We'll
link?
drop it all in the show notes,
there's-
man. So we
there's-
got you.
My brain is just going.
No, all good,
Yeah.
brother. Well, hey, appreciate you being here. For everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. If you've gained any insights, please let us know what you picked up from today's episode, and leave us a review. We'll see you guys next episode.